Hello everyone, and welcome in. Positive healing vibes to all the subscribers, the viewers, and the world out there. Today we're going to do a collective self-care message. This message is going to be for anybody who needs it. It's a self-care spread, and it doesn't have a time intention, okay? So we're just going to jump right into the message. In this reading, we will take a look into what your fear is, what the problem is here, what steps you can take currently, what you can do now, what you can do at a later time, what you need to hear at this time, what you should avoid, and advice moving forward, okay? So let's just jump right into the message here. We're gonna start with the oracle card here that I pulled for the reading, and this message is Fairy of the Divine Hand. This card talks about not seeing clearly, not being able to see things in a clear manner or as they are, from all sides, all perspectives, okay? This card also talks about being misled or being led off of your path easily because of this distorted view, okay? And it goes right along with the message that was coming out for you, for the collective, okay, for everybody, okay? And this actually personally resonates with myself as well, because it's something that I'm working on within myself, too. So the first card out, the card that's in the position of the fear is the Hermit, okay, the Hermit card. This card, it talks about going within, seeking answers within. It talks about that self-discovery journey, right? And if you think about it, what's preceding the Hermit is the Strength card, right? And that's like going within, taming that inner beast, preparing for that hermit mode, right? This is in the position of your fear. So I feel like there may be a fear for whoever this is resonating with of digging deep or digging within. Maybe there's some traumatic experiences that you suppressed, and you may be afraid that those are going to resurface, uncertain how to handle those things. The next card that we have here is what to do about this, okay? The Knight of Cups. This card talks about chivalry. It talks about emotional expression, messages. In this context, I feel like there's a need here to, you're going to need to express yourself in some form or fashion. And that's what digging deep really does. When we're able to dig deep, do the shadow work that we need to do to kind of come to terms. It's like finding the balance within ourselves. You have to be aware of the positive attributes that you have inside of you, as well as those quirks, those characteristic, maybe flaws that people perceive as flaws. And it's not saying not everybody is going to think that it's a flaw, but being aware that, okay, some people might think that I laugh loud. So in certain settings, I might not want to be so overbearing with my laugh, especially if it's having to do with business, right? Being aware, okay? The Knight of Cups is also being well-mannered, being very morale, being conscious of other people's feelings. I feel like there's this chaos, there's this storm going on inside of you, and right now you may be trying to present as everything's okay, everything's fine, but underneath of the surface, there's this storm brewing. You're going to have to go within and find that balance within yourself here. And I know sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes we don't want to be alone. But honestly, it's the best thing, especially if there is a storm brewing inside. We could say hurtful things. We could do hurtful things to people that we wouldn't normally do or say hurtful things to, if we're not in control of those things, you know, if we aren't aware and don't know how to handle those feelings. That's why a lot of people seek therapists and seek counselors, is to help calm or balance those emotions within them, because a lot of people this day and age weren't taught about expressing emotions. Especially a lot of masculine energy have been taught to suppress emotions, okay? And here's what I feel about emotions, because honestly, I'm one of those people who, when I was younger, everybody told me not to cry. I don't know why, I was a girl, so I think that girls are supposed to be able to cry more than boys. But for some reason, I was just told to hush, to not cry. And so somewhere along the line, that kind of grew inside of me. And I've come to realize it's okay. That's a form of expressing your emotions. It's okay to cry sometimes. Now, it's not okay to just burst out into tears in the middle of, you know, in the middle of nowhere, maybe riding the bus or something somewhere, riding a train somewhere or something, you know. Maybe if you're listening to some emotional music or something, you would. But there's a time and a place for emotional expression. And finding that balance and understanding within yourself is going to be important. The next card out is what to do later. 8 of Pentacles. So this card talks about putting in the work, putting in the effort, building that solid foundation, seeing the fruits of your labor. To me, in this context, this card is talking about doing the research, you know, asking for help, asking for guidance if you need, but really taking that time to get to know yourself and figuring out those emotional triggers. What situations or places cause you anxiety, cause you stress? What people in your life can you limit your energy with, because there's always stressful situations surrounding them. You are in control. You are the master of your life, of your surroundings. Yes, I will agree there are certain things we can't control, i.e. other people, but there are certain things that we can control. How we react emotionally, where we put our time and energy. The next card is what you need to hear. This storm that's brewing inside of you, 10 of Wands. If this hasn't become heavy already, it will. It will spew out eventually. You won't be able to control it. If that's what if that part of the reading is resonating with you, you won't be able to have that control. And I feel like with what's coming out here in the reading, it won't be very much longer. So there is definitely a need here to take the time. Take the time here. The last card, 2 cards fell out. And this is what should you avoid. We have the Knight of Wands and the 6 of Swords. And I was getting 2 messages when I was seeing these cards. And I'm going to clarify this as well, and then we'll pull the advice at the end. What to avoid with the Knight of Wands and the 6 of Swords, okay? You can take this 2 ways. There's a need to avoid flighty people, need to avoid people who aren't stable, who aren't solid. If they're always in and out of your life, if they're always using their presence as a negotiation tool, right? So what does that mean? If you don't do it my way, I'm just gonna leave. That's actually a form of manipulation. And I'm not gonna lie, I have done that with certain people in my life, and I've had to check myself. If you're trying to have a working, functioning relationship, that's not something that you can do. You know, you can't respond and react like that. This could also be flipped though, right? So this could be you responding impulsively to situations. You know, don't be so impulsive when making decisions. Sit down, think about it, be practical, try to understand the pros and cons of the decision you're about to make. Please clarify this Hermit here. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. You need clarity on something in the past. For whoever this reading is resonating with, King of Swords with the Six of Cups. There's something from your past that you're going to have to work through. I'm not gonna lie, for some of you, you may need to reach out seeking guidance, seeking help. There are apps out there, guys, now where you don't even have to go into offices to talk to people. You can just text on apps. I've tried them myself. BetterHelp is one of the ones I've tried. It's an amazing app. There's definitely something from your past that's triggering you to have a certain type of reaction, and I feel like this is something that you're not going to be able to suppress for much longer, okay? Let's clarify the Knight of Cups. Also know here that if you walk away from a situation, not necessarily to control it, but to more have a little bit of peace, maybe if the person stresses you out and you're trying to get peace in that situation, there will come an opportunity where they will come back and ask you why you stepped away. That's how friendships or partnerships work. Understand that you're not ever alone. There's always ways you can reach out to people. And even in communities, in rural communities, you know, I'm not a very religious person. I grew up Catholic, so I kind of have a little bit of a distorted view. My grandparents were Eucharistic ministers. Those were the people who raised me. And I got to kind of see the inside depths of the church. And I went on this little soul-seeking journey when I was like 18 or 19, trying to research religions and figure out what the true religion was. I come to find out that all religions are really similar in their main basic principles. Now, they have some, you know, little rules that are different or little differences here and there, but the main basic principles, the main plots of the story are pretty much the same. But I even go to church, not all the time. It's not like I religiously go to church, but when I'm feeling a need to connect with people, when I'm feeling a need to hear a message, I just get a calling and I'll go and I'll find a church. It'll be mostly a non-denominational church or a Christian church, only because those churches are a little bit more open-minded with newcomers or only one-timers. And it's amazing. You always connect with people. Most churches have coffee, and I don't know, for me, the messages always resonate whenever I go to those. So I know that was divinely guided. And even just, you know, right now it may be a little hard in certain areas with all the craziness going on. But there are communities that you can join online to reach out to people, to feel connected. So try not to focus on, I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be alone. If you're afraid of being alone, there's something in that you need to look at, to work on. Okay? Let's clarify this Knight of Cups here. This Knight of Cups. I feel like this facade that you have, that everything is okay, underneath of that facade, it's a lot of heartache. It's a lot of stress. We have the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Swords. A lot of betrayal, a lot of being left. Okay, maybe you're always feeling abandoned, or that could very well be what's triggering this fear to be alone. Maybe in the past there was somebody along the line. It could be a family member. It could be a partner from a relationship that had left you, and now because of that you have this tendency to overextend yourself in relationships. Maybe accepting behavior patterns that you normally wouldn't accept, but because of this fear, it's causing you to kind of be stuck in situations that you feel uncomfortable in. Or accepting certain types of behavior patterns from certain people that normally you wouldn't be okay with. In your mind, you're like, why am I okay with that? Remember, if you don't go within to get that clarity within yourself, taking this time by yourself is going to be important. You might find that these emotions bubble out and you won't be able to hide them any longer. Let's clarify the Eight of Pentacles here. Empress and the Three of Cups. I feel like you're kind of purging. This is an energy of purging, okay? Understanding that any person who is causing anxiety, causing stress in your life is going to be replaced by better connections. But you're going to have to make room for those connections. For instance, okay? For example, I'm going to use myself for an example. I was so focused on my son's father for the longest time. That was like the apple of my eye. And because of past relationships I had been in that I didn't want to be left alone with a child, I put up with certain behavior patterns for a long time. And I stayed stuck in this kind of toxic, it wasn't necessarily it was a toxic relationship, but because on the outside, I presented it as it was this beautiful thing. Everybody thought it was this beautiful thing. So when everything came crumbling down, everybody was like, well, what happened? It was so beautiful. What happened? That was the facade. That was the mask that we were wearing. And once I walked away from that person, once I made space in my life for better things to come in, better things started presenting themselves. Not people, not necessarily people, even though there were people that were more positive that came into my life. More positive things were happening. I was getting promotions. I was moving to better areas, getting, like, literally I could see when I let go of this toxic situation, it was like instantaneous how much better my life got. I got a brand new car, I moved to a better neighborhood, and got a better job, all within the same year of leaving that person. So you can see that is an example of my own life, how that situation was keeping me stuck. And because that person I was with, everything, every idea that I had, every job that I wanted to go for, or every degree that I tried to pursue, there was always an issue with it. And so because I was walking on eggshells trying to please this person, I'd never seen my true potential until I had let that relationship go. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship. It could be a job scenario. It could be a friend or a family member that may be pushing their negative ideas on you. But there's somebody here in your life that's causing this disruption of your dreams. Okay? And I get the sense, whoever this is resonating with, that there's a fear to let this person go because of being left or feeling alone. You are going to be rewarded handsomely once you make space. And I'm not necessarily saying let this person go. You can distance yourself without letting them go. Just say, I'm working on myself right now. There's some things that I'm working on. I just need space. Let's clarify the Ten of Wands here. What you need to hear. It's time to change your perspective. Whoa, this is so weird. Look at how this came out though. The Nine of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the Nine of Cups. I can't make it up. You need to change your perspective. And again, it may be a person, this may be a person who's maybe pressing their negative connotations on you about a business idea or about a certain career that you're trying to pursue. You can't do that. You've never, I used to sell insurance. And one thing my ex told me is, you can't sell insurance. You don't know how to do that. It makes me laugh when I think about that, because I literally, after we broke off our commitment, I literally went and applied for a job within 3 months to sell insurance and succeeded for about 2 years at the top of my company selling insurance. There's a need here to change your perspective. I know this person, you want to take what this person has to say at heart. You feel like they have your best interests at heart. And maybe they do have your best interests at heart. Maybe there's just something that they went through that's causing this fear, causing this anxiety. You have to make this determination for yourself though. And by changing your perspective, it's going to change the outcome. Clarify the Knight of Wands with the Six of Swords here, please, and thank you, Spirit. The Sun card, that's it. You need to decide. There needs to be a decision made here. Okay? Are you going to put yourself first? Or are you going to focus on the negative, stay stuck in this negative connotation right here? I feel like you want something more stable, something more solid. Now this could be a relationship. Maybe you want a more stable, more solid relationship in your life. Somebody who's always going to be there and not needing their space, needing their time every 6 months. You're going to have to make that determination for yourself, what you're going to want to accept and what you're not going to want to accept. And then focus on what you want and go for that. So let's get a few cards out here for your guys' advice moving forward. Astrological signs, I see. Everybody's always focused on the astrological signs. So I'm going to say the main signs that I see here in the reading. I will say this. If you are finding that something in the message is resonating, okay, the astrological sign, the title, there's most likely going to be something in that message for you. If you were to take a look at your birth chart, you would probably find that you have an area in your birth chart where you have every single sign. Most people do, anyway. The signs that I see here, we have Virgo for sure. Empress energy. A lot of people will say this is mutable signs. So Sag, Gemini, Libra. This doesn't have to necessarily be, okay? It could be also Virgo. Virgo is Empress energy as well. We also have Leo. Really, there's every sign present. Okay, we have Earth, water, air, and fire. So it could really be any sign here. Okay, any sign will resonate with this reading. Again, it's really about the title, guys. Okay. I'm also going to do an extended version. In the extended, we're going to take a look into what are the next steps here. Where is this all headed? What's the outcome going to be here? Okay. So let's take a look at the advice. There's a need here to free yourself from this situation, okay? By changing your perspective on this, it's going to help clear this confusion up that you're feeling within yourself, okay? It's going to help calm this fire that you're feeling within yourself. Maybe there is a need to express yourself. If there is a person that you're in a relationship that is causing negative feelings or stress, anxiety, maybe taking a step back and just simply communicating with that person. I just need some time, some space to figure some things out in my life. Is going to be beneficial. There's a need here to get clear within yourself here to clear this confusion. I do get the sense that there is a fear of taking that time by yourself, okay? The only way that you're truly going to clear this confusion, though, is to go within. So you're gonna really have to decide here. What do you truly want? Would you rather stay in this relationship that you're in currently, or would you rather clear this confusion and make space for something that's more in alignment with where you're headed? Let's get a soul journey card out here. I am going to do, oh, I already said I'm going to do an extended version, but guys, the extended version link is below in the description box. Also, the second link down there is the subscription. It's $11 a month over there on Vimeo, and you get access to all of the extended readings that I upload for all of the signs. I'm going to do a Work Your Light Oracle card first for this reading. There's definitely some healing that can take place. And I feel like you will have this distorted view. You will also have to continue wearing this mask until you do this inner work. It's part of your ego. It's part of your shadow self that you need to take a look at. The crumbling. It's interesting. What are you clinging on to? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Guys, this card is talking about fear. It's talking about fear. What are you clinging to for fear of nothing coming to take its place? You are being called to surrender, to stop trying to hold it all together, to loosen your grip, to let the crumbling occur. It may be difficult at first, but in the end, the sooner you let go, the sooner the rebirthing will occur. What are you trying to hold together? What are you doing your best to avoid? How are you trying to pretend everything is... Wow, guys, that is a powerful message. So I do feel like that's a good solid message coming out for the collective for this week's self-care reading. Stay tuned for next week for next week's self-care spread for the collective. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing the content. You guys are all amazing. If you want to get in on the extended version, the link will be below in the description box. Otherwise, thank you guys again so much, and I look forward to seeing your beautiful souls again soon. Namaste.